7-stroke roll into a, what'd you call that? 4-stroke rough. I'm working on this old ratty copy of Charlie Wilcoxon, the All-American Drummer, 150 rudimental solos. Cost $2 when it was originally printed. It was probably in the 40s. Yeah, copyright 1945. This is actually a copy I inherited from the founder of Modern Drummer, Ron Spagnari. This was his book he worked out of when he was a kid. I have several copies of it, but this one's just kind of cool to have an original copy of it. So I'm working on number 4. I've already worked up 1, 2, and 3. The videos are posted on my channel. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. Just performing them at 3 tempos, 90, 103, and 116. I chose those tempos because 116, from whatever research I could find, is the most standard like march tempo for military marches. So that was like my goal performance tempo for all of these. And then 90 seems to be a good starting point. 103 is just right in the middle. So I'm going to kind of walk you through my process of breaking these things down. First time I always, I just try to read them for the first few times and just note where the tricky stuff is, because these aren't super difficult. They're tricky, but they're not super hard to read if you have any experience reading this stuff. So I'm just going to read down solo number 4 at 90 BPM, just noting where I have some things I need to work on. 2, 3, and right there. Couple spots. Let me just read it again. 1, 2, 1, 2. Right there. So 7-stroke roll comes on the end of 2, followed by a 4-stroke rough. So the hand speed, the subdivision of the hand speed's the same. Should just be playing 2 triplets. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. But the first triplet is doubled. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. They're also accented. The single stroke 4 is accented, which makes it even more difficult. 2. I should have this drum angled a bit as well. Whenever I play traditional grip, I try to have the drum angled so I'm not leaning. There we go. 1, 2. Oh no, that makes it. Pretty tricky. 1, 2. Might have to start slower on this one. Go down to 80. 1 and 2. I think the trick is going to be keeping the 7-stroke roll low. To allow those accents to have a little bit more pop. All right, let's try sight reading 80. Reading it down at 80. 1, 2, from the beginning. Really slow. I think that's too slow because it just feels like all the techniques are kind of out the window. That's why I picked 90, even though that's still, but everything else should flow a little bit better. So here's 90. Go too slow and you kind of lose the flow of the techniques. 1, 2, beginning, and. Not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. All right, I want to break it down. So I have this little notebook here, this little field notes notebook for each one of these solos I've been working on. And I make an outline that I have to check off. So I'm going to do a performance at 3 tempos. And then I have, that's the first objective. Can I play these things at 3 different tempos? The number 2, identifying what rudiments are used in that solo. And then we'll talk about building up the phrases. So the rudiments in this one, which I haven't analyzed yet, number 4, starts with 9-stroke roll. There's a flam. Another 9-stroke roll. Singles. Singles is sextuplets. Another 9-stroke roll, 5-stroke roll, paradiddle, 7-stroke roll, 4-stroke rough. Alternating flams, there's a flam paradiddle in there. Another 5-stroke roll, another 7-stroke roll. So I would write all those down, make sure I can play them 9-stroke roll, I know that. Play that different tempos. Kind of like out of context. Just make sure I've got the rudiment under control. All right, there's a flam. I can do alternating flams. It's a very traditional way to practice rudiments, to go from super slow to as fast as you can and back. It's called open closed. Another 9-stroke roll, where I did that. 5-stroke roll. Paradiddles. Four-stroke rough. What else we got? Flam paradiddle. One of the hardest of the 26 standard rudiments. I think the hands do, 4 notes in a row. So the ultimate speed of this piece is how fast can I do that, even though there's only one of them in the piece, and then how fast can I play a 7-stroke roll. That's all the rudiments used. I'd always do that each time. Identify the rudiments, practice each rudiment individually. Just to get, there's always something in here that Wilcoxon does it a lot, where he'll do paradiddles with the accent on the 2nd note. That's almost it's not technically a standard rudiment. It seems to be a very common thing for these solos, like a regular paradiddle, and then on the left paradiddle accenting the second note. It's a very common thing. Okay, next step is to build it up phrase by phrase, 2 bars at a time. So the first measure, 9-stroke roll followed by a flam, then a 9-stroke roll followed by 16ths, with an accent on the E. Also, the 9-stroke roll, first time I think I've seen that in this book is in number 4. It's actually accented. What's up, Johnny? So I'll just loop 2 bars at a time. So the first 2 bars. And then play the next downbeat, which is an unaccented note. So I'll do that over and over again. That's feeling pretty good. Now I'll try to do 4 bars. Ends on beat 2. Those triplets. So now I'm going to do just bar 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 2 again, and 2 again, and. So another challenging bit in this solo is the gear change between 16ths and triplets, which happens between bar 2 and 3. Did I hear a dog barking? Hang on. Be weird. So that's bar 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3, and. That gear shift between 16ths and triplets can be tricky. That's the change in gear has to happen right away. It can't be any kind of wishy-washy. Oh, cool. A new Coliseum or an old one? 1, 2. All right, now I'm gonna do those 4 bars again. 1, 2, 3, and. 2 again, and. 2, 3, and. I feel like the first 4 bars are cool. Oh, nice. Mid-80s Coliseum. I think I played one of those. I feel like my high school had one of those. First 4 bars to the click at 90. 2. Let's go to this angle. 2. And. Yeah, I rushed the triplets. I heard it. 1, 2 again, and. 2 again, and. again. Feeling pretty good now. Try 103, our mid-tempo. 2, 3, and. There we go. All right. Now I'll go to performance tempo, 116, see where we're at. And not quite flowing. 2, 3, and. Triplets are weird. 2, 3, and. All right, not bad, not bad. Definitely feels better than it did before. I think Chick Corea said when he's practicing reading and things, he's looking for glitches, technical glitches, and then he just kind of repeats them until the smooths over any kind of glitches. That's what I'm trying to do right now, is kind of smooth over our glitches. All right, second line. Starts with a 4-stroke rough, followed by a paradiddle, another 4-stroke rough, paradiddle, some accents, and then ends with a flam and a 7. So technically nothing super difficult. Yeah, I'm using the pad because it's a little late for me to be banging full volume on the snare. It also lets me use the lavalier mic, so I don't have to keep hitting the foot switch to mute it. All right, so let's do 2 bars at a time. Triplet and paradiddle. That's to 4-stroke rough, paradiddle, and then opposite 4-stroke rough, paradiddle. And it ends with an accent. 2. 2. Try that at 90. 1, 2. It's like I probably wouldn't have identified that these were exactly the same thing, just with the different lead hand, if I would just kept reading the whole thing down. But since I'm breaking it down like this, now it'll make it easier for me. Ultimately, I'm trying to memorize these things when I perform them. So that's just a way for me to kind of organize how it works. Identical repeat, just with the backward sticking. 2. All right, with the metronome. 2, 3, and. 2, 3, and. 2, 3, and. Cool. Let's go to 103. And then we'll add that to the previous phrase. 2, 3, and. 2, 3, and. 2, 3, and. Cool. 116. 2, 2, down. 2, 3, and. 2, 3, and. All right, I want to add that to the first 6 bars of the whole piece. 1, 2, 3, and. Again. There we go. All right, next 2 bars. Accented 3s, and then with a flam, and then a 7. that dreaded. That's the dreaded 7 into a 4-stroke rough, but we'll tackle that next. Just try that at tempo, those 2 bars. Do the do do. All right, do that whole line. 1, 2, 3, in. 2, 3, in. All right, first 8 bars at tempo. 1, 2, 3, in. Not bad. Again, 2, 3, in. Gotta remember to keep that 7 low. 1, 2, 3, in. Keep it lower. Okay. Take it back down to 90. We are at the 3rd line. There we go. 3rd line of this beast. Triplet, it's 4-stroke rough, 4-stroke rough, 4-stroke rough, alternating flam, slam paradiddle, and then another paradiddle. Rest, rest. Not too bad. 2, 2. The trick is getting that 7-stroke roll before that. But let's try the whole 4 bars. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2, 2. Again. 2, 2. Again. 2, 2. All right. Take it up to 103. 1, 2, 3, and 2, 2. 2, 2, 2. All right, it's flowing. 116. Two. Those 4s, I gotta just kind of let the momentum carry them. So they're trying to muscle them out. 2, 3, those. 2, 3, 2, 2. All right, I'm gonna add. I'm gonna go back to the line before. So this is line 2 and 3, and I'm focusing on that transition. Trying to get that. Just gonna feel weird because it just is weird. Lines 2 and 3, solo number 4. 1, 2, 3, and. Try it again, see if I can make it a little less freaky. 2, 3, and. Nope. Just weird. 1, 2. Just gonna be one of those phrases that it's just the edge of comfort. Same thing. 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3, and. Boo. Let's take it down to 90. All right. 90. Lines 2 and 3 of solo number 4. 2, ready, and. That feels slow, so slow now. 1, 2, again, and. I just noticed a typo in the next line. All right, that felt okay. It's really when the tempo gets up that it's really weird. Same thing. 2, ready, and. Not bad. All right. The book is Charlie Wilcoxon, All-American Drummer, 150 Rudimental Solos, classic piece of literature. Came out in the late 40s. He taught a lot of great drummers, including Philly Joe Jones and a few others. And this book is still being taught, by a lot of great jazz drummers around New York. Kenny Washington, Greg Hutchinson, all those folks have studied out of this book. A lot of vocabulary in here. All right, lines 2 and 3 again. 1, 2, and. All right, I'll take it. That 7 was a little bit crushed, but 1, 2, 3, and. Almost. 2, 1, 2. Start over. Just gotta let it flow. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. God dang. Freaking the big white whale for me to do that. I wonder if that would be easier. Yeah, probably. Still not easy, but I'm committed to doing all these traditional grip. Dang it. You just closed your movement goal. All right, do the first 3 lines at tempo. 1, 2, 3, and. Not bad. All right, so the 4th line. The final line here. So a few more 4-stroke roughs, and then 4-stroke followed by some doubles, and then a 5-stroke roll embedded after some accents. So right there's a typo. It's missing an accent on the 3rd note. I don't know if subsequent printings have fixed that, but they should all be accented. 2. That's the first measure. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. Yeah, then it's the first 2 measures of the 4th line. 2, 1. That's pretty tricky. Triple lit, left, left, right, all accented. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. All right, let's try that much at 90. Each one of these solos has something that is challenging for chops building. I mean, and the phrasing is just cool. 2, triplet and dub 1. accented. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2. All right. Try 103. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. Okay. 116. 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. What's up, Joe? Appreciate you logging in. Hope all is well down there in the old MD. All right, again, those first 2 bars, ready, M. It's all accented. The trick is to not muscle it too. Ready, M. All right, last 2 bars. Tap, 5-stroke roll. Single, single, 5-stroke, single, single, 5-stroke, and then 7. All right, take it back down to 90. We'll just do those 2 bars. Add 1 bar before, so bar 2, 3, and 4 of the final line, because that transition there, that's tricky. All right, the whole line to the M, 2. I got off the click. 2. All right. Cool, cool, cool. 103. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. What's up, Dan? Yeah, I've had probably 5 copies of this book since probably 1996, 97. I've played through his other book, which is probably more referenced, Modern Rudimental Swing Solos. I played a few. I still play Rolling in Rhythm and Roughing the Drag every day as part of my warm-up. That book's amazing, but those are like longer solos, more like kind of like recital pieces. These are cool because they're just little 16-bar chunks that really kind of zero in on specific rudimental applications. Highly recommend it. I kind of overlooked it and sat on it because I thought it was kind of old-fashioned, old-timey, but the more I played, I'm like, these are pretty freaking hip. So yeah, if you can find a copy, shouldn't be too hard. Highly recommend it. All right, 116, last line. 1, 2, 1, 2. Gotta keep that 7 at the end lower. Keep muscling them out. 1, 2, 3, and 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, try the whole dang thing. at tempo. See if I can get through that 7 in the middle there. 1, 2, 3, and. Ah. Then the whole thing repeats. That will be the whole piece. All right. That 7's kicking me in the tush. We're going to go back down to 103. 1, 2, 3, and. Right there. Dang it. It. Sweet, that felt pretty good. I'll bump it up to 116. See what happens. 1, 2, 1, 2. Damn it. If I get the 7, then the 4-stroke rough, something happens. If I get the 4-stroke rough, something in the 7 happens. That's just weird. Now, I do know from observing some of the more accurate kind of colonial style snare drummers that 7s are actually elongated, so trying to crush it into a metronome, it's not realistic. They would be elongated, so they would, they give themselves the breathing room to stretch that 7 to have it speak, so it's not being slammed. But for me, as much as I love that interpretation, it has no relevance because I'm trying to play this stuff metronomic, because almost all the music I have to play is metronomic. So I don't want to start elongating phrases just because I can't play them, even though if you hear any true rudimental drummer play these, they're going to elongate the 7s. Try it again. 1, 2, 3, and. Yeah, that wasn't bad. I'll take that. Take that to the bank. All right, now I've got to play the whole piece, which means I got to play the whole thing twice, cleanly. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and. Damn it. It was close. It's a workout. These things are a freaking workout. I probably should try to like 112. There is no tempo marking. I just arbitrarily chose 116 because I felt like abusing myself. Let's do 112, the whole thing. 1, 2, 3, and. thorn in my side. It's close though, pretty close. I think if I try to force myself to do any more of it tonight, I'll just be hurting myself mentally. But now I feel like I can play the piece. The goal is to memorize it. Almost memorized. So for me, when I start getting into memorization mode, I'll do like 2 bars at a time, just like I did when I was learning it. You know, I'll start by just like glancing, like just now I was just kind of glancing at the music, just looking away and then trying to full-fledged away from it. But memorization is tough for me. It just takes a lot of reps, just careful, slow, 1 bar at a time, making sure I'm not learning or memorizing anything wrong. But usually, like I would say that's probably already 65% memorized. I was barely looking at the book for that one. All right, let's do one more performance before I hop off here and end my evening. I'm gonna do Stay at 112. Try to get through this sucker and don't let that 7 freak you out. 1, 2, here we go. Nope. Start over. I want to go down to 108. Because now I'm just starting to practice mistakes, which is no good. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Not bad, not bad. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to try 116. Just for the heck of it. Don't judge me. 1, 2, 3, and. All right, not bad. I gave myself a C+. It's almost there. First time was better than the second time. Maybe a B-. I give myself a B-. Don't be so hard on yourself, Mike. Yeah, so that's it. Any questions or anything else you want to chat about before I log off? Hit, drop something in the chat. I think I need to change the snare drum head, but I'm not going to do that tonight since it's already pushing 11. It's time to chill. This is an Evans Real Feel pad, which is great. It's just one-sided though, but it's very bouncy. This is good for developing control of the rebound because there's tons of it, and if you don't control it, the sticks will bounce out of your hands. And then the attack tile is what I am performing all these pieces on when I do like the final version for the main channel, which has like a coating of, I think they put like the UV1 drum head material on top of it. So it feels more like a drum. It's got a little bit more of a actual smack to the sound. Like this is just rubber. So that's cool for really dialing in like the more realistic performance. I have a bunch of other practice pads too. I have so many practice pads. Johnny, thanks for logging in. I'd like to see that Coliseum snare drum sometime. I do love me some Ludwig snare drums. They are the best. Yeah. So I'll go through and I'll chart out, like for solo number 1, 2, and 3, I've already checked off the full performances. I've got to go back and do some videos on breaking them down, but you know, solo number 4, I should be able to get the performance done sometime this week. Shall see. All right, I'm gonna hop off here. Again, thank you for logging on this late night session. I might start doing later evening streams for the next couple weeks, just to kind of keep me practicing this stuff, like down here practicing mainly these pieces. Like I want to get through the whole book. I know realistically that would take me years, but at least want to try to get 10 of them performed. So I think after that, all the rudiments should be covered. It's a lifetime study though, jeez. They do get longer when you get into the hundreds of full pages instead of 16 bars. What's on the back of this thing? It's crazy. This was Modern Drummer founder Ron Spagnardi's or DFD. What are you asking me, Johnny? What about DFD? But it's got like some notes here from his lessons from, I guess, when he was a kid. Scales. It's crazy. It's been taped up. Dedicated to the Ohio chapter of the All-American Judges Association. Whatever the heck that is. I guess there used to be a lot of contests for rudimental drumming. Different era. Simpler times, probably, where you could spend your nights and weekends. Oh yeah, just send me a pic. You can send it to the DFD page or my personal page. Yeah, I want to see that thing. Ooh. All right, give myself a break. Let me try one more time. 116 performance tempo, right side camera for all the marbles. 1, 2, 3, and. Damn it, always on the second time. So I know my goal for the next couple of days is to break that down super duper slow, that 7-stroke roll going into a 4-stroke rough. And just try to figure out, like, mechanically, why is it making my hands kind of freak out? Something's happening. It's trying to get the accent for that first left. Because you're going from a low double have to get some whipping motion. Thing is, you can't mimic the stress of it by going slower. I got to figure out some way to approach that, because if you do it slow, you can like have all the time in the world to lift your arms. What you're doing when you're sevenths at that speed, there's no time to do anything with your arms. I can do that. Get that first right. It just requires, unfortunately, requires some muscle. There's no time to do any kind of flowy molar kind of stuff. So it's going to feel shocking. Annoying. All right, one more time. You're getting a peek into my madness. I can't let things be to the end. Mm. 110. Hate it. It just doesn't feel good. It'll get there. All right, now I'm truly done. Time to sit on it. Let my brain have a minute to process it and come back at it tomorrow. So thanks for logging in. I'm out of here. Have a good evening. And if you're up tomorrow night, I might be back on right around the same time, around 10 o'clock Eastern. Till then, have a good one. See ya.